Mackenzie, very mischievous because he knew that it was not you.
How do I mute everyone?
I kept quiet.
Okay, I've muted everyone now. Okay. Morning, members. Welcome to today's budget committee. I have muted you all because I know that it's early on the morning, it is Friday, everyone is hustling and bustling early in the morning and want to chat about their weekends, upcoming weekends. But let us just quickly deal with today's budget committee meeting. Okay, members, thank you for being here today. Today we will be dealing with the final mandate of the Division of Revenue Bill B3 2020 of the NCOP. We will also then deal with the draft report of the Budget Committee on the Division of Revenue. That will be read afterwards. We'll then deal with committee business normal, that's draft committee meetings, as well as 2 draft committee reports, and then resolutions and actions. If you do not have the documentation, it is on the Files tab within this team. Members, I'd just like to remind you that the virtual meetings are live streamed on YouTube. There are also possibly media and or public within the meeting and or watching on YouTube. Also, if members could please keep the chat function open for points of order as well. And members, if you would like to ask questions during the meetings, we have a new raise your hand function. So if we could please use that raise your hand function, and then I'll be able to easier note respective people. The procedural officers with us today is Wasima Kamish Ahmad and Lizette Kluter. Thank you for being with us today. And they will be doing the recording of the meeting as well as taking the respective notes and putting the information up on the screen. Firstly, I'm just going to do a roll call for today. I'm going to start with the permanent members. If we can just identify who is on today.
Wendy Philander, present, Chair.
Thank you, Member Philander.
Ricardo Mackenzie, present, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Mackenzie and Honourable Mvimbi. I see you as well. Any other permanent members present?
Member Nkondlo present.
Thank you, Member Nkondlo. You are alternate, so I'll just skip right to alternates now. I don't see Al Jamal online. Honourable Brinkhuis, are you online?
Matlodi Maseko, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, I don't see Honourable Brinkhuis online. Honourable Maseko is recognized. Any other alternate members online today?
America. Allen.
America, Allen.
Mireille Wenger.
I heard Member Wenger, Member Botha.
Dylan.
Okay, Member Mitchell. Okay, thank you. If that is all, okay. Members, we are going to go straight into the consideration of the Division of Revenue Bill. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up for comments and or questions, and then after that I will put the vote, put the Division of Revenue to the committee and ask for a particular view. I will now open up for any comments or questions on the Division of Revenue. Honourable Mackenzie, I recognize your hand.
Chairperson, just for clarity purposes, you say there are documents in files. I'm not sure which documents you refer to, but I can't see anything. But other than that, if you want to respond to that, and then I'll start with my comments.
Okay, before I deal with your comments. If you go to the Budget Committee teams and you go to the files, so if you put your little video in your side and then it opens up, then you'll see there's a tracking document, meeting documents, 2 quarterly reports, a notice and agenda there, previous minutes, and the Division of Revenue presentation previously. But what I'll do is when the quarterly reports are up, I'll ask the procedural officer to also put them on the screen. But for now, we're just going to deal with the revision of revenue. Honourable Mackenzie, do you want to start?
Yes, Chairperson. Let me just open up my notes quickly. Yes, Chairperson. Chairperson, thank you for the meeting. I feel that we can't support this bill, although it's becoming mute with a new bill coming on the 24th of June. It's obviously important that we do follow the legal prescripts around this. Chairperson, the current wage bill that's taken for the year under review, I believe that is not sustainable, and I believe more should have been done to cut the wage bill. And secondly, when it comes to the educations, my experience has again been, and we've raised this with National Treasury every single year. The funds do not follow the learners. It doesn't follow teaching posts or the infrastructure needs at some of our schools in our communities. As you know, we've got 20,000 learners coming to the Western Cape every year, and the schools can't keep up because the funds, in terms of the equitable share, doesn't follow the learners. My other point I want to make, Chairperson, is around the health. Again, the funds allocated to provinces do not follow the patients. It doesn't follow the health post nor the infrastructure. Practical example, Kailicha Hospital could have been built for, let's say, 5,000 patients. Now there's 7,000 patients a month, but there's no, in the infrastructure that's allocated to the provinces doesn't follow those additional patients. As you know, we had a severe drought, and we saw the Afrikaans drip allocasie. It didn't address the need of the drought, and I know there's many applications were done for disaster management funding in the last year, and so you feel that some other provinces was not experiencing the same level of drought like us in the Northern Cape. For reasons, Chairperson, support this bill. Thank you.
Okay, I saw Honourable Mvimbi's hand.
Thank you, Chairperson. Not necessarily in support of what Honourable Mackenzie was saying, but just as a general comment, Chairperson, because I was reading on the comments of other provinces when this bill was actually considered at the NCOP. If you look at the comments of the Western Cape, it just says that we abstain, and it actually does not substantiate why we are actually abstaining. Can I just request in future, I think we can do more than that really, than just abstaining and not actually substantiating our abstinence, whether is it because we are in support or not in support. Because I must say, reading through that, it was not really satisfying to me coming from the Western Cape to see that the Western Cape just abstain, but without actually giving reasons. Because if you look at the comments that were given by other provinces, then Treasury do come back and explain some of the concern that they are actually saying. So maybe I was just going to request that in future, even if we do abstain or we don't support, let's state the reasons why we are actually, so that because I don't think we are just not supporting it for the sake of supporting it if the committee feel that they don't support, but you must always put the reason. Maybe the responses might be positive, then it will actually going to clarify whether we are just abstaining or not supporting for the sake of not supporting. So in future, if you can just always submit at least our substantiation. Thanks very much, Chairperson.
Thank you. I will also deal with that after the questions and comments. I saw Honourable Wendy Philander's hand.
Chair, good morning. Chair, thank you. I really don't, I'm not in support at all, Chairperson. And what is it that National do not understand, Chairperson, in terms of SOEs? Why constantly bailing out failing SOEs? Chairperson, and it's evident in the times that we are in that those monies could have been spent elsewhere much more productively, Chairperson, in terms of supporting our frontline services. Chairperson, that is the one reason, Chair. Also in terms of the sustainability of our municipalities, we will also see during this time a drop in revenue. So our municipalities, the government closest to the people, really need optimal support, Chairperson. And then also the equitable share formula. We asked the question in terms of what was the inputs, and that also wasn't clear as to what exactly it was, and also the lesser that we received as a province. Chair, also then the amount and the formula that was used in terms for this province is not fair at all, Chairperson, and that is my reasons for not supporting.
Okay, thank you. I saw Honourable Allen's hand.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think that safety is everyone's concern. I cannot support this bill in this regard because we understand that because SAPs are understaffed, we are not getting enough manpower here in the Western Cape. Recent crime stats of last year revealed again that about 18.9% of South Africa's murder rate is generated here in the Western Cape. And if we want to halve the murder rate within the next 10 years, the allocation we are getting from national is not sufficient. As such, money had to be taken from other departments in the Western Cape in order to provide funding for the safety plan that Premier Alan Winde has implemented. Hence, we can't support this bill. And like I said, safety is everyone's responsibility. And in that regard, we must not support this bill. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so before I put the question to the committee, Honourable Mvimbi asked that in our, if we abstain, that we just include, for example, reasons. We also have to also note that National Treasury did answer respective members after the briefing as well when they submitted questions. Those documentation was also sent to the committee and so on. But I do think that Honourable Mvimbi has a point that we can include in our negotiating mandates in the future the reasons as well, even if National Treasury has already responded to the respective questions and so on. However, there's nothing that stops us from including reasons now as well. Honourable Mackenzie, I saw your hand.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, just a final comment, sorry to interrupt you there. This morning we were sent a document by the coordinator, and I've read through the documents, and it really is quite interesting that out of the other provinces that have also given their input, a lot of them have raised the same concerns that we have. The equitable share formula needs to change. And in fact, I saw in the documents, a few of those provinces didn't even make recommendations to support or not support, because they feel that the questions around the equitable share were not properly answered. So it's not that we in the Western Cape and our views on isolation, it is across the country. Provinces feel, I think there are only one or two provinces actually said that they either support or not support the bill. But the overall majority, if you read through the document that was sent through to us this morning, are raising serious concerns around the equitable share formula. And I just wanted to put it on record. Thank you.
Okay, so Honourable Dalen Mitchell's hand.
I'm covered. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so, oh, sorry, I saw Honourable Nkondlo's hand in the chat, sorry. Honourable Nkondlo, I just want to say also, your raise your hand functions between the little 3 dots and the little chat box function, but I see your emoji hand in the chat box as well, Honourable Nkondlo.
No, thank you, Chairperson. I think I'm using another phone because my other one became faulty, so I'm still struggling to find the functions here. Thank you for the advice. I think, Chair, accepting, I think, the points raised by members about whether, if other provinces have not substantiated, and therefore it gives us, that justification. I would think it's the right thing to do. I mean, if you are making a position, especially as a legislature, because our function here is to be responsible to the executive that we oversight. So I would think if others didn't, I think it's the right thing to do, to substantiate, so that it is understood that, as Member Mvimbi was saying, we're not doing it for its sake. We've got substantive issues that we are concerned about. That's the first point. The second point, Chair, is that also I think we must speak as people who understand our role and also the context in which our role happens. One, if we were to talk about equitable share, in this current environment in South Africa today with our economy, obviously, I think the balance of that particular conversation must also ring true of where is this particular funding that we're talking about going to be coming from. Whilst we acknowledge, all of us, and we rant and rave about the same situation of a dwindling economy. So I think also our contextual response, when we place issues, I think we should not place issues as if we are not staying in South Africa. We do not understand, the context of the South African situation. But I would like and I would plead, because I would think that we are once again a committee that would always, and we don't shy away from the concerns that we raise, and we can explicitly place those issues that we have. And lastly, Chair, to just say, I think if we consider, and it may not necessarily be an exercise for this particular bill, but it may be, as a committee, we will have to sit at some point and consider, when we take positions in the past couple of years, when we take positions around division of revenue, what exactly is the message that we are sending? Because I take from the point that, we keep on a same stance. And it's always said, you can't do the same thing and expecting different results. So I'm just saying, maybe this is another conversation we must consider, especially on these matters we believe year in and year out we are raising, and we seem not to be making any inroads in as far as those issues are concerned. And we may need to answer why is such, so that we don't just necessarily do, a common practice of saying we are not agreeing based on the same reason that we have raised last year and the other year and the other year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Nkondlo. I would also like to encourage members. Unfortunately, Honourable Brinkens is not here today, but he was the only other member from my other party on the virtual meeting with the negotiating mandate. I would like to encourage members, from irrespective of political parties, please, if you have particular things that you would like to add in particular reports, please do attend the respective sessions or raise them if you are in the respective session as well. But I do think I've already responded to Honourable Vimbi's point. So if there aren't any other specific matters regarding comments on questions regarding the division of revenue, then I'm going to put the question to the committee on whether or not we should support or oppose or abstain. Lizette, could we perhaps just put how it would be worded irrespective on the screen, please? And then I will take hands from members. Honourable Mvimbi, I saw your hand. And then Honourable
yes.
Afterwards.
Yes, Honourable Chairperson. I will Chairperson?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh yes. No, I was going to propose that we support the bill.
Okay, Honourable Mvimbi has requested that we support the bill. Honourable Mackenzie, I see your hand.
Thank you, Chairperson. I was going to propose that we do not support the bill given the substantive reasons that we have given. And also, just on a side note, I'm going to email all the reasons that I've given through to Wasima in the next 30 seconds, so it can just be formally recorded. Thank you.
Okay, I see Honourable Philander's hand.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm not in support, Chair, and will also provide the reasons stated to the procedural officer. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Philander. Because we received moving for two different types of position, Wasima and Lizette, could you just advise, do we vote on Honorable Mvimbi's one first?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, so there was a motion. The first motion that went through is that we support the bill. All members that are in favour should raise their hands.
Okay, instead of raising hands, because we're in a virtual meeting, what I'm going to ask is, for those who are in support of Honorable Mvimbi's motion that we support the bill, can you please indicate verbally so?
Majority rules, Chairperson.
Okay, Mvimbi. It's
Yes,
only
so-
Honorable Mvimbi that has indicated support. Okay, so I will now.
I support as usual.
Thank you for your.
Chairperson,
Thank you for your
As
support,
an
Honorable
That's
alternate.
moral support. It's what is called moral
Yeah.
support.
Exactly,
Yes.
Honorable Mvimbi. I record such.
Okay, members, I just want to quickly go on. I heard you, but unfortunately, Honorable Nkundla, you do not have voting rights at the moment. Thank you, however, for your moral support to Honorable Mvimbi. Okay, so Honorable Mvimbi
Yes, so-
only had his own vote. I will then move on to the second request, which was from Honorable Mackenzie, which was seconded by Honorable Philander. I would like to ask for votes on that. I will vote to support Honorable Mackenzie's position.
Support such, Chairperson.
Honorable Philander supports it as well.
And
Honorable
I'll
Mackenzie.
vote for my own position as well.
He supports his own position as well. Wasima, I just wanted to find out from you if we are all procedurally correct now that we do not support.
Yes, Chairperson, when the first motion was put and there was no support to it, it automatically dropped. So then,
Okay.
then the motion to not support the bill stands, and that is the position now, that the committee does not support the bill.
Okay. And then I wanted to find out, Honorable Ricardo Mackenzie indicated he sent information to you as well. So we can just check that.
Chairperson, I just want to advise the committee that all reasons were supposed to be stipulated in the negotiating mandate, but these reasons can be in the final mandate stage now. So there's no room for negotiation now, because the negotiating stage was, these reasons were supposed to, we had to be given in the negotiating stage, but we can note these reasons in the minutes.
I think let us note the reasons in the report as well.
Chairperson.
Perhaps you can
I
use your
quickly add-
fancy English. Honorable Mackenzie, I saw you.
Thank you, Chairperson. When we submit the final mandate, I mean, nothing stops us from submitting the minutes of this meeting attached
True.
to the final mandate given to the NCOP, the final mandate with additional information, or the final mandate with minutes of this meeting as to what this committee agreed to.
Okay, we can do that as well. Everyone's happy with that?
That's fine, Chair.
Okay. If there is nothing else, I will then move on to reading the report of the final mandate. Okay. It will then read final mandate stage, report of the Budget Committee on the Division of Revenue Bill B3 2020 NCOP dated 22 May 2020 as follows. The Budget Committee, having considered the subject of the Division of Revenue Bill B3 2020 NCOP, referred to the committee in terms of Standing Rule 217, recommends that the House confers on the Western Cape's delegation in the National Council of Provinces the authority to not support the bill. Report to be considered. The report to be considered will simply be for ratification then. Okay. If there's a mover for the report.
Yes, Chairperson.
Wenger?
Thank you. I saw Honorable Philander, Wenger, and Mackenzie's hand. I'm going to take Honorable Philander and Honorable Mackenzie's votes. Unfortunately, Honorable Wenger, I'm going to let the permanent members be the ones on the vote here. Okay, thank you so much. That is then adopted. We can then move on to the consideration and adoption of the draft committee minutes of the meeting of 12th May. If members are able to access their files. And Lizette or Wasima, if we can just also maybe put the minutes on the screen for everyone, for those who are unable to access their files. Okay. Members, I'm going to start with page 1. This is the draft meeting minutes of proceedings of the 12th of May. So let's go through page 1. Just check that you are in attendance. Down. Okay, everyone happy with page 1? Any edits? Okay, let's go to page 2. Okay, go down.
Chairperson, are you putting it on the screen?
Yes, it is on the screen. Can you not see it?
No.
No, it's on the screen.
It's on
Okay,
the
let me
screen.
go out of here.
Okay. Try to go and look on your files.
It's on the screen.
Can you see it now, Honorable Mackenzie?
No, I still can't. Perhaps I need to go out and come back in again.
If you
Chairperson,
click
Chairperson, I think I'm also unable to see it, but I think it's due to the network quality.
Okay, so what you can do is you click on the Teams button again, even though we're in the video, you won't go out, don't worry. And then you will see there's a page that comes up saying Posts, Files, Wiki. And under the Files button, you are also able to access the minutes. It will be named BC Meeting Minutes 12 May 2020. And if you click on those, you can also then see the actual document. Honorable Mackenzie, so I'll just wait for yourself and Honorable Allen maybe to access the Files button.
Chairperson, it is on the screen now.
Okay, Honorable
My
Allen,
side.
you can see it. Honorable
Okay, that's fine.
Mackenzie?
That's fine. You can continue, Chairperson.
Okay, page 2, let's go down. Okay, so if there's a mover for the minutes.
Move for adoption, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Wendy Philander. Okay.
Seconded.
Honorable Wimby, were you there? Yes, no, wait.
It's there. My name is there. Although I know I arrived late, but I was there.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Wimby. The minutes are then adopted. Okay, let's move on. We're going to start with the draft third quarter report. Again, you can see it on files, but we can also going to put it up on the screen. Okay, so let's start with page 1. That's just the permanent and alternate members of the committee. Okay, objective of committee. Page 2. Page 3. Maybe just go a little bit slower so that members can see. Let's go back to page 3. Okay, so that's October 2019. Okay. Any edits? If not, let's go to page 4. That's November 2019. Okay, you can go down. Any edits? If none, we can go to the next page. Okay, go down. Okay, any edits? If none, we can go to the next page. Okay, just stop there maybe so the members can see. Any edits? If none, we can go back down just so that the rest of the members can also see. Okay, go down. Okay, any edits? If none, we can go down. Okay, we can go down. Any edits on that page? None. Okay, let's stop at this page so the members can see. So members, you can see there that we have a balance of 84,946 Rand left in the committee budget. This is also due to all of the virtual meetings now. Honorable Basima, you may speak, yes?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want the committee to note that this is October to December. The fine. Yeah, we must just take note that there's another quarterly that will be adopted, so the balance will be different.
No problem. Okay, thank you. Let's go down. Okay. Members, that is the third quarterly report. If I could have a mover, if no edits.
Moving for adoption, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Philander.
I support.
Thank you, Honorable Mackenzie. The quarterly report of the third quarter is then adopted. If we can move on to the next one. The fourth quarter, I mean, sorry. So the next one will be January to March this year. Again, it's in your files, but we're also putting it up on the screen. Okay, page 1, the permanent and alternate members. Any edits? If none, page 2. Okay, any edits? If none, page 3. You can go down. Any edits? If none, page 4. Any edits? You can go down. If no edits, let's go to the next page. Okay. You can go down. And go down. If no edits, we can go to the next page. Okay, you can go down. So members, you'll see there at the end of March, 61,165 left over. Next page. Okay. If there are no edits, if I could receive a mover for the quarterly report.
Move for adoption, Chair.
Okay, yeah, Honorable Philander.
I support Chairperson Ricardo Mackenzie.
Okay, thank you. Then that is adopted accordingly. Are there any resolutions or actions from the members for the committee? Going once, going
none
twice.
from me, Chair.
Okay, no problem.
Chairperson.
Yes, Honorable Mackenzie.
Chairperson, if perhaps we can just, from the NCOP, because I do see sometimes they have budget meetings, and I do try to sit in, but if they can just send us a formal agenda from their side, the NCOP or the National Assembly, when they do have their budget or their finance meetings, because obviously going forward, whatever they're going to discuss is going to have a profound impact on any province in this country, particularly with the new budget coming up on the 24th of June. If we can just, from our coordinator to their coordinator, just to keep us informed when, and that we also be invited as attendees to these meetings, not just as YouTube watchers.
Okay, Wasima, could we just capture that we ask that if it's possible for the NCOP to send their program to us, and whether we are able to also attend their meetings, please.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Chairperson.
And Chairperson, one point quickly.
Yes.
It is possible,
Yes,
because social development did it, and we could ask questions to Minister Zulu 2 weeks ago. So we were invited as provinces, and we could attend the meetings, and we as attendees, and we could ask questions to the ministers here.
Okay, no problem. Wasima, if we can just maybe put forward that request to the NCOP, please.
Yes, Chairperson, will do.
Thank you so
There's
much.
a meeting. The Select Committee on Appropriations will meet on the 27th for, they have sent us the notice. I will just request them to invite the committee.
Thank you so much. Okay. If there is nothing else, I know
Chair.
that all the respective comments, Wasima, can we just capture those in the minutes for next time? Honorable Nkondlo, I heard you.
Yes, thank you, Chair. No, I wanted to support Honorable Mackenzie's proposal because I would think it will be important, and I don't know how our committee coordinators can assist, to sort of integrate those dates in our calendars and leave to a member if that member is available, including, I think there is this PMG set up of theirs. I've always struggled. I try to ask the library if they can help us with that, where you are able to access especially, the minutes and some of the presentations if you have not been able to attend, because sometimes there are serious decisions that are made, or some presentations that will help one to understand before the matter actually comes to the province. So I'm just asking in support of what Honorable Mackenzie is raising, that especially on matters that relate to our committee, if we can get that particular access, including that PMG. I don't know, I think there's a formality that you need to get from the NA or NCOP for them to link you as a member in a legislature. Thanks, Chair.
No problem. I think with PMG, and perhaps the procedural officer can just contact them to find out, but I think that if you create an account with an official email, such as WCPP, that you automatically get free access, and that if you go on with a personal email that you have to pay for it, but I'm not sure. Wasima, can we maybe just check with PMG what access requirements are like? And then also, I know that there is an area on the program that we can request that NCOP meetings be put on, but I can also imagine that programming probably doesn't want all of the NCOP meetings probably cluttering the WCPP program. So if Wasima, if you can maybe just find out how we can just make sure that those NCOP meetings also get noted in our respective members' diaries as well.
Yes, Chairperson, I think that it will be a discussion with the Chief Whip, because there is a column that says NCOP or national. So in the program, if there is important dates that must be noted, it will be in the last column on the parliamentary program.
Okay, no problem. But we can liaise regarding that if there's nothing else. Perfect. Members, the meeting is then adjourned. Goodbye.
Thank you, Chairperson.